From the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 20 to 25. Let's read. Giving thanks always for all things unto love and the Father in the nature of our husband, God's loving nature, which is Christ. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of love. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Now, what does this mean? When the scriptures speak of men and women, what they are speaking of is thoughts and feelings. You see, the man wasn't given dominance or dominion over the woman. He was given dominion over his own being, his own thoughts and feelings, his own heart. You see? Let's continue. So this means wives or emotions or feelings, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, your thoughts, as unto the husband, the Lord, right? You know you're not supposed to call him Lord anymore, but Ishi, which means husband. So, you see, your emotions are supposed to be submitting themselves to your thoughts. You are not to let your emotions run wild and make decisions for you in your life. That is what this means, you see. Because our emotions, or the woman, is the weaker vessel. You see, in the book of Genesis, it says that the woman was deceived, right? Eve. The emotions were deceived, not the husband, not the thoughts. How do you know that? It happens every time you go for something that you lusted after. Your feelings, your wife, lusted after it, right? You are lusting after some temporary emotion, and your thoughts were telling you, hey, wait a minute. This is not good. It's not good for us. We should not eat or partake of this fruit. You see? For the husband is the head of the wife. The thoughts are the head of the feelings or the emotions. Your thoughts, which are supposed to be rooted in right thoughtness, righteousness, in right thinking, are to lead your emotions. Your wife, for the thoughts are the head of the emotions, even as Christ, or God's loving nature, is the head of the church, the body, the entire being of the thoughts and the feelings. And he is the savior of the body. God's loving nature is the savior. Love is the savior, nothing else. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, meaning, therefore, as the body is subject unto God's loving nature, which is Christ, so let the emotions or wives be to their own husbands, their thoughts, not their thoughts, but their thoughts. The wives, the emotions are supposed to be subject to their husband, your thoughts, you see? In everything, it says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. Meaning, thoughts, love your emotions, even as Christ, or God's loving nature, also loved the body or your being, your entire being, and gave himself for it. You see? You're, as a man, not supposed to domineer over the woman. You see? Your relationship is supposed to be in equity, not in iniquity. You see? Husbands, love your wives unconditionally. And wives are supposed to reverence their husband for his unconditional love. You see, that is the relationship dynamic that God has ordained between men and women. You see, do you notice how it says that the role of the woman is not to love or to love unconditionally? That is the man's role, you see. So, how does this manifest? You see, what is the nature of emotions? What is the nature of women? Don't emotions ebb and flow? Just like a woman, a flesh and blood woman will sometimes get emotional. Her emotions are riled up, just like the wild sea that beats against the rock at the beach, her husband, right? You see, the husband is supposed to be his wife's rock, unmoving, unshakable, unconditional love. You see, the nature of the woman is to be emotional. Her nature is chaos. Now, that doesn't mean that she is evil. Just like the water of the ocean that is riled up and is beating against a rock isn't evil. That's just simply its nature. If you, as a man, don't want to deal with that, then I guess you just don't like women because that's their nature. You reject their nature. You have to be the unmoving rock of unconditional love. Okay? That doesn't mean that you have to sit there and suffer through her disobedience, through her wild 5 minutes, or be it even a day or two. You have to do it as God does it. What does God do with his wife? In the scriptures, it tells you that he returns unto his place until she has acknowledged her sin. So when your wife has her 5 minutes again, or her stormy day or two, remove yourself until she has acknowledged her sin. You see? And then you come back together again in peace. That is the dynamic between men and women. Also between your thoughts and your feelings, which is the higher principle. You see, you have to be a good husband, regardless of whether you are a woman or not, or a man or not, it doesn't matter. Because we both have thoughts and feelings. We both have the inner husband and the inner wife. We both are created male and female. You see? That is the image and the likeness of God. It is thoughts and feelings. That is his image and likeness in which we have been created. Both fleshly men and fleshly women. You see? So therefore, love your wife. Love your emotions. Love them unconditionally, regardless of whether you are a fleshly man or a woman. You see? And your emotions will reverence you in turn. That means they will deeply respect you.